formaldehyde on you. They still have to like treat you the same way.
Okay.
They don't just burn you.
I had this. She's part of the death positivity movement, is what it's called. Her name's Caitlin Doty. It actually, I know why you would say that, because like when you hear that, you're thinking like black lipstick. But, P.S. Look at how we're dressed. Yeah. We look like we're the leaders of the death positivity movement. But
yes.
But it's not like that. It's what it is exactly what Diaz is talking about. It's pointing out that funeral homes and the entire business of getting a body in the ground, there's all these like complete absolute bits of bullshit connected to it. For example, in the West, people think that when you die, somehow you're instantly diseased. There's a sense of like, don't touch a dead body, get the dead body out, get the fucking thing out. It used to be that when someone in your family died, you would wash their body. There was like a whole ritual around it. And it's all part of grieving. I mean, if you're washing your grandmother's dead body, it's not like you can like let your mind trick you into thinking she's not dead. Like you understand it's telling like their brain, this is a clay statue that used to be my grandmother. But the whole formaldehyde thing. So this is what she told me, and I'm sorry if I get some facts wrong here, but essentially in the Civil War, they needed to get the bodies from the battlefields back home so they could bury them. And that's when they started using formaldehyde. That was the idea, preserve the body, because it's going to be on a long trip, and by the time it gets wherever it's going, it's going to be rotted. Oh. So after the Civil War ended, they wanted to the undertakers wanted to keep that level of income going. And so they were like, why don't we just tell everyone they need to put formaldehyde into a dead body? Yeah, so what if the body's only going to be in the the viewing room for a couple of days? You should put formaldehyde in it. It's clean. It's necessary. It just makes sense. Let's mummify this corpse
and make it inedible to nature.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre, because that's the whole cycle. Like, we're like the only animal that has at least a percentage of our population that doesn't contribute to the cycle of life and death by allowing the things that normally consume you when you die to exist off of us. Like we remove ourselves from that cycle.
Yep, that's
it. Which is that the sign of us becoming like some sort of new technologically based thing? And that's one of the ways we do it, by removing ourselves from the entire cycle. Maybe it's like almost like a natural thing, that just greed and human inclination towards gathering up as much money from an industry as possible, that it's like a normal thing.
It's
and
greed.
It leads to these little ways where people behave like insects. They just extract money.
Yes. It's when propaganda becomes, what's the word for it? It's when you interiorize propaganda. So it's like, at first propaganda, it's bullshit. And if you have any kind of intuition at all, you'll see it and you're like, that's fucking propaganda. That's not real. But if propaganda gets adopted by enough people, it goes from being an outside thing to you become the vessel of propaganda. Now now it's soaked into you. You're spreading the propaganda, even though you haven't spent any time investigating whatever the claim the propaganda is putting out there. So with the whole funeral home industry, at some point, I guess you had to convince people, that wooden coffin, that was your grandmother. You're going to put him in just a pine coffin? But down there in the cold, cold earth, she needs a bed. She needs a cushioned lead coffin with pillows in it so that it's waterproof, so that not a drop of rain shall touch her as she sleeps forever. So it's like, you hear that, you're like, she's fucking dead. I don't care if she gets wet. She doesn't care if she gets wet. But somebody was like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. We got to keep her dry.
To give them thrones.
Put them in thrones. I mean, I think what's really fucked up about the way the West handles dead bodies as opposed to like ancient Egypt is, at least when you're putting something in a sarcophagus, surrounding it with cats and whatever else, and onks, there's an idea, there's a mythology behind it, which is this is going to be the vessel that they travel into the underworld in. But in the West, a lot of like very secular people are still paying $50,000, $40,000 for a coffin.
So crazy.
It's crazy.
So weird.
Christians, on the other hand, they think, that at the end of days, Jesus returns and the dead rise.
And if you start a conversation with the average person and say, really, why should we use formaldehyde on dead bodies? What are we doing? People would look at you like you're a kook.
Yeah.
You're a kook.
That's how it starts. That's how irrational thinking gradually works its way into a culture until what the irrational thinking has become some ceremony or some symbol. Shaking hands. God bless you. When you sneeze, I say, God bless you.
Yeah.
Like all those things, it's just irrational stuff. I like a lot of irrational stuff. I like saying God bless you when somebody sneezes. But when I'm saying God bless you, I'm not saying it because I think the sneeze indicates they're going to be dead in a week, which is probably where the God bless you came from. It's like, God bless you, you're probably about to die. You just sneezed.
It's an opportunity to be nice. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
It's courtesy.
Yeah.
It's courtesy. But,